Oh, somebody's not muted. If everybody could mute, that would be awesome. Unless you want to ask a question at the end. There we go. Cool. Welcome. I'm so excited to share this content with you today. Hello to those of you who know me. For those of you who don't, my name is Sarah Mack. I'm a creative business coach, and I support creative entrepreneurs to make more money through content that sells and that magnetizes dream clients in ways that bring you more creative freedom in your life and business. So, hi, Amy. So nice to see you. And I feel like such a teacher today because I've never done a workshop like this before, but I'm really going to break down and do a case study of one of the videos that I shared last month. That basically the inspiration behind this workshop was one of my entrepreneur friends was like, oh, you know what would be really cool to see from you would be a breakdown of like a post or something that you shared that you know directly led to a sale. And I was like, that doesn't happen to me. That's something that happens to other people. I just was something that I presumed, it was a cumulative effort, which of course it is, the consistency of message, the consistency of showing up and delivering value. And then I just had a brainwave and I was like, no, there was that one specific day that I remember sharing something and somebody messaged me and joined my one-on-one mentorship. And that was just after I put it up to 16K. And so I scrolled back through my Facebook to look for, and I could correlate it with when I received the message from that particular client and the content that I posted on that day. And that happened to be a 7-minute video. So I watched it and I've broken it down to really pull out the key pieces that make a piece of content strategically really powerful. And I'm going to share them with you today and break it down. So grab some notes, grab a journal, take some notes, and just notice as we're going through like any kind of intuitive insights that come up for you around speaking about your work when I point to the key pieces in the strategy, breaking down how I have been selling my work. So what we're going to do is I'm going to walk through the general strategy of this 7-minute video. I'm going to highlight the pieces that now looking back on it, and I learned so much from going through and reflecting on this, which I've actually never done for any of my stuff. I literally create, I post, I move on. I create, I post, I move on. I tweak, I'm doing the work like as I'm consistently evolving my message and leaning more deeply into the content strategy and being more strategic and specific and powerful in the way that I'm creating. But to go back and actually reflect on what worked was I created so much value for myself in doing this. So I'm really excited to dive into this with all of you. And then I'm actually going to play the video because it's only 7 minutes. So we can look, so you'll be able to kind of see it in action. And then I'm going to pull out the key pieces very clearly so that you can kind of use that as a guide to tailor your content to go out there and make more sales. And then we'll create, I'm happy to answer questions at the end too. So feel free to pop anything in the chat as we're going through. I'll either address it as we're going or I'll come to it at the end. So, so this is for you if you want to get better at selling at higher prices without being spammy, manipulative, or using complicated, time-consuming strategies. This is for you if you would love the idea of making consistent and easy sales on social media and attracting dream clients who are so excited to work with you, and in a strategy that's not time consuming, that's easy, fun, natural, and effective, so that you can get back to a life of creative freedom outside of your business, which is really what I take a stand for, what I have created for myself in my business, and what I support my clients to create. And this is the skill, like really understanding how to communicate what you do in a powerful, really specific and strategic way to the people that you really want to be working with and who are the best fit for your offers and services. This is the skill to really nail. I've been selling on social media organically with no ads for 4 years, and I attract dream clients every single month. I no longer do sales calls. I have amazing women in my inbox ready to buy my programs consistently month after month, ranging from $25 workshops to $20,000 private mentorship offers and many different price points in between. including self-study courses that I sell at around 1,000 and my mastermind, which is now priced at 5,000. So, and I use the same strategy, no matter if I'm selling something that's $25 or $20,000. And it's the same strategy that I'm going to share with you that I used in this 7-minute video. So this is such a valuable exercise, and it's a skill that when you understand the key pieces of it will really allow you to sell anything to anyone from a place of authenticity and alignment. And, you know, to be clear, like, this is something that I'm always working on. Obviously, I'm always going deeper in my understanding and ability to execute, but it's not something that I like overthink when I'm creating. It's really like knowing these key pieces and allowing them to activate what's already there inside of you, like your authentic truth, why you're doing this, who you're genuinely excited to reach with your work. These are the pieces that really allow this flow. So you can create from flow. So you just know where to steer the conversation, but you really can speak from your heart. And when I created this video, and I'll share my process for creating live streams with you, it's not like scripting word for word, remembering the script, being really, like anal and putting tons and tons of work into it. This is a 7-minute video. I'll usually spend like 10 to like max 20 minutes preparing before I go live. So this isn't time consuming. It's really just about having that clarity on where to focus and getting really good at creating around those focus points. So I always begin every video by sharing my name and sharing my website. I'll be like, hi, I'm Sarah Mack from withsarahmack.com. That actually, since I started doing that, has driven a lot of organic traffic to my website. And, you know, it's great if somebody stumbles across you, which is obviously the idea when we're posting on social media. So that's something really simple that just helps people to identify you, remember your name, and, you know, come and find you when they're ready to buy from you. And then the whole concept of this video was to share, a win, which I had recently, which was I had a $10,000 launch of my group program, Tell Stories That Sell. And that was the most I had made from a launch of that program. And I was reflecting myself on what had gone well, what worked, and what I did differently that allowed me to have such a higher level of success with this program. And then I was sharing the takeaways in this video. So, and I also share the transition, so the before and the after. So previously, when I had tried to launch this concept as a group program, I'd had a failed launch. I made $0. One person tried to join and then they ghosted me. And so I'm basically sharing the step-by-step that I went through to improve my content and my messaging, to be selling this in a more powerful, strategic, and effective way, which obviously worked because I enrolled 10 women into it in the month before I shared this video. So in this video, this is such a meta workshop. There's like, okay, so in the 7-minute video, I basically go through step by step what I did. I tell the story of how I went from $0, having my confidence knocked, to making those strategic shifts, to having the successful result, which is basically the outline of any piece of content that I create. It's like, what was the before? And then what was the after that they're looking to create that I can prove and show that I have created, and so demonstrate that I'm, obviously someone that can help them to create that result as well. So, so I talk about how the launch failed initially, that I tried it, that it didn't work, and how I moved on from that. Like, I just dropped it. I didn't overthink it. I moved on to what I felt inspired to sell next. And inspiration is always the motivator for everything that I'm selling. I never sell anything that I don't genuinely feel inspired to sell. And that is like number one most important sales strategy, in my opinion. And then I spoke about how I worked on my energy and looked at how, where I was coming from, what was in alignment and what wasn't in alignment. So, and then I talk about the content strategy, how I got really clear on who I was talking to and who I was not talking to, which is, these are the main things that I support my clients to do. So this is really the whole concept of the video, is me proving I am leading myself through whatever it is that I support my clients with. And this is the most powerful form of content, in my opinion, when it's a you're speaking from you're speaking from personal experience, and you're sharing your story. That's what makes people buy. That's what lets people know you're the real deal. You know what, like, where I am and what I've been through, because you're sharing your experience of having moved through that. And I know that you can help me create the result that I want to create because you're telling me how you've done it for yourself. These are the three really important key pieces. So, and then, you know, speaking about the alignment, speaking about the inspiration, like, those are values that I create and sell from, that by sharing them, I'm obviously going to attract clients who share those same values. So basically, I talk about how I got back to really understanding the problem that I help solve for people, because this is really key when it comes to effective pitching, which for me is creating messaging that sells. So I knew I had to come back to that. I knew I had to come at it from a new, exciting direction that I could get my energy behind, which is really the key to tuning into confidence after having my confidence knocked after that lack of success with the previous launch. So the way that I did that I talk about in the 7-minute video, is I focused on selling some one-on-one spaces to really get deep into the conversations around what I help clients with. And that's really the thing that brought me that layer of clarity that I could then translate into my messaging. So this allowed me to connect to my process, to help clients pinpoint the most powerful parts of their message that will attract dream clients only, versus not dream clients, or clients who are dream clients but they're not ready to buy, so that they can tap into feeling clear and confident in what to share. And so I'm very, very clearly reiterating what it is that I help clients with over and over again in this video, which is attracting dream clients, getting that clarity, and feeling confident. Those are the 3 reasons why people hire me. And then I'm sharing my values and I'm sharing my results over and over and over again. So next I go on to talk about what I believe about client relationships and client attraction, which is that I really believe in the the quality of relationships. Like, that's something that I take a stand for. I only work with people who I'm really excited, genuinely excited to be sharing my time and energy with, because that to me is the thing that defines whether or not you're enjoying your business, right? Like, your clients are the most important relationships in your business. And just as I don't like spending time with people I don't enjoy spending time with in my personal life, same goes for my business. And that's really how I determine my level of success, and is by the level of fun that I'm having in my business. And so in order to create that, it's important for me to only speak to ideal clients. So by sharing that is my value system, that is going to resonate with a very specific type of person, right? I'm not here for the person who just wants millions of clients and they don't care who they are and they're just in it for the money and they're willing to, push and do all these really intense sales strategies. That's not what I stand for. That's not what I support my clients to create. So I'm really narrowing it down. And that really makes it easy for people who resonate with that to say yes. So then I share my journey in solving that particular problem. And I share how it took me a bit of time to really know who that was and how to connect with them. And I've always attracted amazing clients because of my background in copywriting and really always having this skill to lead from story. But even within that, there's so many continual tweaks that I continue to make, particularly as I've raised my prices, particularly as I've, become even more focused in the work that I offer, to, pivoting and really allowing it to evolve as I've evolved in my business, so that I'm continually in a state of growth and having fun, and always working with people at the level that is the most fun for me to be able to work at. And that's just a very natural part of being an entrepreneur. We're always evolving, especially when we're coaches, right? So this is a skill that, I'm constantly reapplying to get that clarity, so that whatever it is that I'm most excited to launch, I have the skills to be able to speak very specifically and strategically to the person that is the best fit for that thing I'm the most excited to sell. And that to me is freedom in my business. So in the 7-minute video next, I outline the main thing that I help people with, which is helping people speak to the direct result. I speak to the direct result plus the small shifts that really makes all the difference between getting the result and not getting the result. So that's really the value in the content is, bringing people's attention to these small shifts. If every piece of content that you create allows your audience to make a small shift in their understanding, that's the most valuable thing you can do for them. So I talk about the difference between an ideal client who's in the stage of the process that you can help them with and they're ready to work with you, versus the client who's in the exact stage of the process that you can help them with, but they're not ready to work with you. And you can see how that's such a small difference, but it makes all the difference between making a sale from an ideal client and not making a sale from an ideal client. And it's speaking to that specific person through specific details in your messaging. That's the skill that we're talking about here. So then I go more into sharing how I have been where they are and how I overcame that issue. And the way that I did that was from that failed group program launch to shifting that concept and starting to enroll some one-on-one clients into the same idea for a program. And that's easier for me because it's like one client at a time, so it's a lot less pressure than trying to get a bunch of people in for the same start date. And that really allowed me to get my confidence back, because then all I had to do was get one client and like, oh, okay, I sold it. Now I can start to do this work with people. And then instantly you start getting feedback on, the concept that I wanted to sell, that I really believed in and just wasn't willing to just give up on and walk away from. So, once I was working one-on-one with people, I was able to immediately be having those conversations to clearly identify my ability to help them shift and to create amazing results. And, if we're not having that direct experience, we can sit there and scratch our head and try to be amazing at the content for as long as we like. But if you're feeling imposter syndrome, if you have like a lack of confidence, if you're overthinking things, you're never going to get there. So this is an amazing hack, is to just get out there, be working with clients, and then use that as feedback for the content that you create to sell that work. So then I go into a section where I share how and why I value what I'm selling. And this was like absolutely not, I didn't plan this. This wasn't something that I was strategically doing, but I just noticed that this was something that I did in this video that actually is really, really powerful, particularly for my audience, because one of the main values of my business is authenticity and transparency. And a lot of the things that a lot of my clients want to work with me for is because they don't want to do marketing in a way that's manipulative and inauthentic. And so there's a section in this video where I share why I love one-on-one work. And this is not from a place of trying to prove or convince people, but this is from a place of genuine belief and why I love to facilitate one-on-one and why I think it's so valuable. And I talk about how it helps. One-on-one is just the most powerful container, in my opinion, to get that instant clarity. It wasn't a pitch on why I think they should love to receive one-on-one, even though it also actually fulfills that in the message. I share that, obviously from my experience, I don't think I'm sharing more about my experience delivering one-on-one versus my experience receiving one-on-one. But the belief that I have around that is that when you have the support of somebody one-on-one, your success is inevitable. Just having that space to create that clarity is one of the most valuable things, in my opinion. And so I share my belief that it is one of the ways to make your success inevitable. And it's such a powerful truth, right? That's my truth. That's why I do the work that I do. And then I move on to really focus on both the client results, like the results I've created for my clients, which obviously builds trust, plus the results in my business, plus the results centered around the internal shift around my confidence, because that's like the feeling result. that I support my clients with. So we've got like the money result, that's more of a tangible result. I've got the result in my business, and also the results in the clients that I've worked with, and then the feeling results. And maybe if you're a healer, or you're a mindset coach, sometimes all of your results are going to be feeling results, and that's okay too. There's no hierarchy in like money results over feeling results. Like sometimes all you're going to be talking about and focusing on is how people feel, because actually that's really always why people are buying, is because they think whatever it is that you can help them to create will lead them to feeling something that they want to feel. So, you know, get really clear on what the top one is for you. For me, it's confidence. So the result that I share is that once I started working with women one-on-one in this container, I saw them starting to make high ticket sales from the messaging that we designed together on our one-on-one calls. So that obviously is just showing credibility, building trust. And then the other win that came from this process for me, which was my ability to create a deeper connection to and familiarity with my process by being able to observe it in action, which is the cure for imposter syndrome, or if you've ever had a knock to your confidence. I created a free training around this on my website. If you go to freebies, there's like how to get over imposter syndrome. If you ever go through a period in your business where either you're launching something new, or you haven't done it for a little while, or you're doing something different, and you just want to quickly build your confidence around it, I share like a ton of tips and techniques to get that, you know, get that data and that clarity that I'm talking about. So I got to see firsthand why I'm good at what I'm doing and what are the steps that I take to help clients create results. So really the key concept of this video is I'm leading myself. I'm showing how I built my confidence in my work and being able to promote and sell my work, the behind the scenes, which also shows my confidence both in my work and in my words and my energy. And this is the most powerful thing you can do to build trust with your audience. Then I talk about another result I got, and that I also help people with, which is the clarity piece. So this is how I created that clarity for myself. This is how I got clear on the steps for my work. And then this is how I moved that clarity into my messaging and how I would talk about the trainings that I was offering. So really what happened in this process was I started doing this work one-on-one, and then I translated those key steps into a course, which then became my live group program, which I had the 10K launch for, which then became Tell Stories That Sell. Well, that's the name of the program that turned into. And now I sell that as a self-study course. So I created the coursework from the work that I was doing one-on-one. So this video shows me leading myself in detail, really embodying what I teach and getting the results from it, which is the proof that it works. And I also shared about the unique way I created the result that was good and fun and aligned for me. So I speak about how during this launch, I was actually on vacation for 2 weeks and I was not hustling, it was not stressful, and I had got enrolled 10 women and I made 10K. So, and I also talk about how excited I am about the women that joined my program, because they're all absolute dream clients and really amazing. And I'm so stoked to be working with them. I share the emotion that I felt as a result of that result. And, you know, that's me embodying in action, creating a business that I love with dream clients in a way that gives me so much freedom, that doesn't require hustle, and is just really just the perfect case study and example of how I embodied the work that I support people to create for themselves. Georgie says, if I spoke about all of that, I'd be talking for an hour. I'd love to be able to do a 7-minute video. Yeah, so we're going to watch the video and you can see, like, I'm going more into detail in it, and you can see how it came out in 7 minutes. Because once you get into the flow and you just kind of know the key pieces to talk on, actually, you can kind of summarize it and you don't have to spend forever rambling. Although if you want to ramble forever, that's fine too. Like, there's no right or wrong way to do a live stream. And then I talk about how I created the result without having to do any of the things that I don't want to be doing and that my clients also don't want to be doing. So I didn't do any Facebook ads. I didn't do any cold outreach. I didn't do any direct messaging. I've started to explore Facebook ads, but I've never successfully incorporated them into my strategy. And I never wanted to for a really long time. So I know, it's important for me to mention that because I know a lot of other people find it very frustrating and don't like those aspects of marketing and don't want to do it. So it's important to share that it's possible to have this level of result without doing any of those things. So really, I share my process and how I do it in a very simple summary. I shared a simple, consistent, and powerful message. I do it by spending 15 to 40 minutes of content creation 3 to 4 times per week. So it's important for me to share my process, because if I was like, yeah, I made this result, but I spent 2 days writing the script for this 7-minute video, it's not a very powerful pitch, right? And so leaning into that specificity, also so they can see what it takes. And if they're prepared to do this, then obviously I'm somebody who can help them to get what they want. If they're like, no, I just want to batch create content once a month and that's how I want to do it, I'm probably not going to be the mentor for them, because I haven't proven a way that it's possible to do that has worked for me. So, and it's also a desirable goal for people who may be spending a lot longer and not getting the results that they want, is, obviously understanding that there's something about the way that I'm doing it which is allowing me to create this level of results with this level of effort. So, so then I share something that creates another kind of a big mindset shift, which is really to get into the energy behind what you're delivering to people, which is stating the facts about the process and the results that you create in your messaging, and that there's no need to be pushy. It's really about being simple, consistent, and clear. And I love talking about this with clients, because even you just like feeling into that, you're just like, oh, I just get to tell the truth. I just get to share my authentic story. I just get to tell it like it is. And that's enough. That's enough. We don't have to be pushy. We don't have to be manipulative. You don't have to convince people to buy. Like, none of that is required. And I think that's just the biggest relief for a lot of coaches and healers who really have a lot of resistance around selling, because they see the way that other people do it and don't want to be doing it that way. So that's another really key piece that's important for the people that would be a good fit to work with me. So then I move into the pitch and the call to action, and I actually have 2 calls to action on this video. One of them is I mentioned that I'm going to create a workshop around the key shifts that I made for my 10K group program launch, where I go deeper into this, and I invite people to DM me. And then I move into the pitch of my one-on-one program, which was the intention behind this video. So I lead with the words, if you're ready. And these are really important, because that's the difference between an ideal client and a not ideal client, is someone who's actually ready. And this is something that I go, really deep into with my clients, like making those specific tweaks in the message so that you are really clear on speaking to somebody who is ready, and you're not like unconsciously trying to convince or push people to work with you. So if you're ready for your next level of income and feel like and want to feel like you have more freedom in your coaching business, I have space available in my 6-month coaching program. And then I just lead with the 3 key results that I support people to create during that work, which is I support you to get deep clarity on your easiest strategy to develop clear and powerful messaging that's converting to sales from your dream client. So the clarity, the ease, and converting to dream client sales. Those are basically the 3 things. And then I talk about this is the work that allows you to do marketing strategy that feels simple, doable, and fun. So they're sharing more of my values and brings you so much more freedom in life and business. And that's another really important result. That's like a result of the main result that people are hiring me for, which is to attract clients. And then I break that down because you're selling the offers that you want to be selling at the prices you want to be paid, because pricing is another big conversation that I work with my clients on, and the money mindset behind it, and to the people that you're most excited to work with. That's like, just breaking down like the dream client thing into more specific detail, like people and the emotion, right? Emotion is the reason why people always buy. So the more we can include emotion focused results and content, the more compelling our pitch is going to be. So the people you're most excited to work with in a schedule that brings you freedom and space in your life as well. So, I talk about the results. I talk about the feelings behind the results that are specific to my ideal client. This is not for somebody who just like wants to hustle, take massive action and like push their way to the result. This is for people who want to have the result, but they're not willing to sacrifice health, happiness, authenticity, or any of their values in order to get there. And that's really what makes it, working with me, a unique experience for a specific type of person. And then I share, that's what I'm all about. Send me a message, which, I've obviously spent the entire 7 minutes demonstrating that. So it's pretty clear by this point as I'm signing off. And then a clear, specific call to action. Send me a message to apply and I'll send the details through to you. So this is for someone who's ready and who their next clear action is to send me a message to apply. So I'm really calling somebody who's already decided that they want to work with me, who's already decided that they're ready, and I'm specifically speaking to that person in my content. So that's the story and how the story unfolds and really like what the story is doing. And I'm going to recap this after we've watched the video as well, just to make it really clear. And then from an energy perspective, as I'm speaking on the video, I'm just coming across in an authentic way. Like I'm really just kind of like speaking from the heart. And, I went off script a little bit. I'm not like reading word for word off anything that I prepared, although I also did use a script in parts. And here's the thing, it's so easy when you're simply sharing your truth about what really happened. You can be like, oh yeah, I'll tell them I did this and this and this and this, and just not jot down the key points that are important about that story that you want to share. And then you just get to tell the truth. You get to tell your story as you, as authentically you, because that's really enough for the people who are a good fit to work with you. And I'm not a perfectionist about the work that I do, about my content, about my videos. I really just allow myself to be in the flow. I allow myself to screw up. I allow myself to stutter. Like I don't edit anything. I don't judge. The way it comes out. Really the mindset. And I'll highlight the mindset behind it. But sometimes I think I made like a weird screw up, and it was like I was talking about being articulate, and then I like made up a word. So I drew attention to it and just laughed at it because I genuinely thought that was kind of funny. So, really bringing that relaxed attitude to it is just the least stressful way to do lives. And obviously at the beginning it can feel really uncomfortable, and it's something that I've been doing for a long time, and I've grown more and more comfortable just being myself and speaking from the heart on a live stream. But usually if I make a screw up or something, I'll just move past it and continue. So that's how to make it easy to do live streams, is to not judge yourself. And how I prepared. So I took some notes on the pieces that I wanted to cover, and then I would riff and add further insights off the top of my head as I was moving through my notes. And this is easy when you're simply stating the facts and telling the truth about what happened in your life and what led you to create the results that you support other people to create. And then always, always, always clear call to action. And I'm clear on that before I go live. Like I'm very intentional, like what am I pitching in this live stream? How will this story connect to what it is that I'm pitching? Excuse me. And then really trusting the flow, connecting to the words that I'm sharing, relaxing and enjoying it and going with the flow. So the mindset behind it is to really trust that whatever comes out is exactly perfect for what my audience needed to hear from me today. I am enough. The value that I was able to share today was enough. The people that this was meant to reach will find their way to my content. And really, like, this is how to make live streams easy, is to get out of the dirt in your head. Don't judge yourself. You know, if you're nervous, if you're like, you know, you want to do a really good job, you really care, this is really meaningful to you, and like that can create pressure. Just keep practicing until you start to feel more relaxed. Don't give yourself a hard time. Don't ever judge the way that you did something. Don't look back on it and beat yourself up and be like, oh, I screwed up that bit, or I forgot to do that. You know, yes, reflect from a place of like, cool, how do I want to do it better next time? Like, it's social media, it's a goldfish bowl. People have 3-second memories. Like, no one's going to be like, oh, that live stream is terrible, or that thing that she did. Like, really, nobody cares. Everybody's looking at your content for very different reasons than you're often thinking about and focusing on. People are there to get the value and the things that relate to them. Trust that that's enough when you show up. You know, really celebrate every time you show up, celebrate every time you share value, and really decide and set that clear intention that this content is doing its work for me. It's finding the people that really I can help and that I'll put on this earth to work with me in this time and space, and really rooting deep into the value of what it is you have to offer. Celebrating that and celebrating yourself for showing up and sharing that. That's the attitude that makes business easy. And then a title. So I always lead with a specific result that your client has identified as one of their top desires, and that specifically relates to the work that you do. So my title for this was Behind the Scenes of My 10K Group Program Launch After Losing My Confidence After a Flop Launch. So I speak to gaining confidence, I speak to the 10K money result, which I know is one of the main reasons people want to work with me, and I share the behind the scenes. So that's the result, that's the, you know, the process. And the starting point was having the lack of confidence. So though all of those pieces really speak to my ideal client. So I'm going to share my screen so we can watch this 7-minute video. So just notice how, you know, these strategic pieces are delivered. And yeah, like feel free to share any, you know, top takeaways that have come up for you during this. And then I'm going to do a recap afterwards to make it really clear how to apply this yourselves. Okay. So hopefully you can see this. Oh, there's no sound. Okay, thank you. Let me share sound, or I can unplug. Can you hear it now?
Sarah Mac here from withsarahmac.com, and I wanted to come on live today to share some nuggets of wisdom with you from my recent success. I had a 10K launch with my group program, Tell Stories That Sell, and I didn't even realize this until I started reflecting, but it's pretty much the exact same course that I tried launching in January, and crickets, $0 made. And I was just reflecting on, you know, what changed, what did I do differently that allowed me to succeed and create 10K with this launch that I just had. So the difference is, so I didn't, you know, the last time I tried to launch this content and it didn't work, I didn't go overthinking the offer. I really just dropped it and moved on to what I felt inspired to sell next. And, you know, other than doing that own work on my energy and, you know, making sure that where I was coming from was really in alignment, I got even clearer on who I was talking to and also who I was not talking to as well. And just really doing that work to, like coming at the problem that I help solve for people, which is to create messaging that sells from a really new and fresh and exciting direction that I could really get my energy behind. So the way that I tend to do that is by working with people one-on-one, and really getting specifically into those conversations around the offer that I'm excited, you know, to create, to around the problem that I'm most excited to help solve at that particular moment in time, and really connecting to my process for helping clients to pinpoint their patterns in their message and craft specifically chosen and powerful stories directed at their dream client only. So those are the only people that you're working with in your business, because I'm a real believer that, you know, these are really important relationships that will make your day amazing, or they'll make your day suck depending on how much you enjoy those relationships. So it's really important you know exactly who it is that you're talking to, and the success of your business really rides on that as well. So it's important not to be talking to anybody other than your dream client. And it took me a little bit of time to really feel connected to who that was and how to talk to them. Because there's a difference between your ideal client who is, you know, in the stage of the process where you can really help them, and the stage of the process where actually that's not really a good fit for you to be working together. So it's really about getting into those specific details. And so, you know, doing that one-on-one work, being in those conversations really always helps me to get my confidence back on track if I've ever been feeling like I don't have clarity or what I have been doing isn't working, because there's nothing more confidence building than being really clearly able to identify how you can help somebody by being able to witness yourself doing it in action in that moment and helping them to create amazing results. So, you know, when I'm working with my clients one-on-one, that level of success and result is inevitable, because you know what it's like when you have somebody who's giving you all of their time and attention, everything's on you, everything's invested in you creating the result that you desire, really, you know, observing you, creating the space for you to create that clarity, whether that's working with a coach or just having a conversation with your best friend about your relationship. That clarity comes when there's space between two people really invested on helping you create that clarity. So your success becomes inevitable when you create that much presence and focus on what it is that you desire to create. So, you know, I saw my clients signing high ticket clients from the content that they were putting out as a result of the work that we've been doing together on their content strategy. And so with this deeper connection to and familiarity with my unique process, by really just being able to observe it in action and seeing, you know, helping me to understand why I'm good at what it is that I'm doing, and particularly, you know, what are the steps that I take, how I translate that into supporting my clients to create results, that just really naturally then moves into my messaging and being able to more confidently and more clearly and with more articulate, I'm about to say a word that doesn't even exist, that's hilarious, being more articulate in being able to get that message across. You know, it really helped me to not only outline the trainings, you know, how I wanted to talk about the trainings that I'd be offering, but also to promote it as a group program with, you know, so much more excitement, so much more confidence, and so much more focus and clarity. So, you know, then once I had that clarity, it was really a case of me putting my own process to work with my own business and simply sharing that message consistently over a few weeks. 2 of those weeks I was actually on vacation. So, you know, that just goes to show you don't need to be hustling the entire time to have a successful group program launch. And I ended up enrolling 10 incredible women in the program, all of whom are like dream client from top to bottom. I'm really, really stoked to be working with. So I didn't use any Facebook ads. I didn't use any fancy funnels, no cold messaging or direct outreach, just a consistent and powerful message in no more than, you know, 30 to 40 minutes, absolute top, sometimes literally 15, 20 minutes of content creation, a handful of times a week, 3 to 4 times a week. And, you know, the takeaway is, as always, it's really about finding that path of least resistance strategy that you can really get your energy and excitement behind to be delivering your solution to people. And because that can look in a million different ways. And, you know, your messaging and your marketing is really just about stating the facts about your process and the results that you can help people to create in your messaging. There's no need to be pushy, simply consistent and clear. So I'm actually thinking about putting together a workshop to go more in detail about the key shifts that had to happen to create a 10K group program launch. If you're interested in that, DM me and I'll put you on the list to let you know when I'm going to be launching that. And if you're ready for your next level of income and to feel like you have more freedom in your coaching business, I have space available in my 6-month private mentorship program where I'll be supporting you really deeply to get clarity on, number one, your easiest strategy, and Also, to develop that clear and powerful message that's converting to sales from your dream clients, and a marketing strategy that feels simple, doable, and fun, and just brings you so much more freedom in your life and business, because you're selling what you want to be selling at the price you want to be paid to the people you're excited to work with in a schedule that brings you freedom and space in your life as well. So that's really what I'm all about. Send me a message if you're interested in applying, and I'll send the details through to you. So thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye.
Cool. So there we go. So I'm going to summarize why this worked and led to a $16,000 sale. So I stood out as a unique provider of this solution that many people on the internet are looking for. And I did that by sharing my beliefs and my values, and most importantly, my conviction around the way that I work. This is confident selling, right? Really embodying and showing how I'm embodying what it is that I teach and how it's working for me. And I also share about how it works for my clients, but this concept works even if you've never had a client, because you are your number one client, right? So if your job is embodying that for yourself and then talking about it from an authentic place, that's how you create confident, powerful, authentic sales. And I share my next level beliefs, which is really why people hire a coach, is because they want to believe or more deeply consolidate their conviction around what it is that you believe, that their desired result is possible and that their desires are inevitable. So, then I share the behind the scenes of what works, which builds confidence and trust. And sharing my process also allows people to see if I am a good fit to support them, that if this way of working is one that resonates with them. So that's important. And then, I show specifically and repetitively my the kinds of problems that I help clients with, and really the top most important ones that really shift people and allow them to create the type of results that they're looking to create. And obviously, it's all about building trust and showing that I can really help them through it. So that for me is overcoming low confidence, overcoming a lack of clarity, imposter syndrome, feeling frustrated by marketing and sales, and booking dream clients and knowing how to do that consistently and repetitively in a fun way. And I identify the clear desires that my client has. So the desire to be making 5-figure months and doing it in a fun and easy, simple way. The desire to feel confident, the desire to have clarity on how to talk about their offer and exactly what the type of work that they do is. And the desire to have more focus and clarity and feel clear and confident in their message and its ability to make sales from dream clients, so that they know what they're doing, so that it's repeatable. And then I also identify fears, problems, or undesirable things that clients want to avoid. So no need to be pushy, by keeping it simple, clear, consistent, truthful, and authentic. And also I share the minimum time required in order to do this. Again, simply stating the facts so that people can then decide for themselves and make an empowered decision as to whether or not they want to work with me. So stating the facts about my process, stating the facts about the results, the results in that you have created in your messaging. That's really my key process. So, that's a really good question. Had the client that signed up for you followed you for a long time? Yeah, she told me that she'd been following me for about a year. So it's very different. Everybody's different. So people can find you and sign up within a few days. People can sign up after years and years and years. And that's really why it's so important to stay consistent with your message and to keep showing up and to trust that it's all contributing to momentum and it's all building. So if this is something that is really, this work is really calling to you and you're wondering how to get the clarity on who your ideal client is and who it's not, and like really finding the exact words to say to attract the right people into your inbox, asking to buy your offers so you can drop sales calls if you want to, this is the strategy to go deep on. And this is really what I teach. And I've created some very simple, intuitive practices and processes that basically create what the container that I provide in my one-on-one when I'm pulling the message out of my private clients. I've created a series of questions in a guided process in Tell Stories That Sell, in 8 different trainings for each aspect of having a dream business of creative freedom, by really, really getting good at your content strategy so that you can sell whatever it is you want to sell as you evolve and grow as an entrepreneur. So if that's calling to you and you want that support to be really getting that clarity on tap, this, I've designed it so you can rinse and repeat this for whatever it is that you want to sell. Every new offer, we start by getting really clear on that offer that you're most excited to sell, getting really clear on who you're talking to and how to talk to them. And then the simple content strategy, the energy management, the money mindset around putting your prices up, and a few pieces about just managing a business that gives you freedom and isn't super time consuming. So if that's something, if these are things that you're looking for more support on, like how to start making money from ideas and offers that you're really the most passionate about selling next, even if you've had no clients so far, and how to get out of self-sabotage by using repeatable processes to instantly tap into that clarity on your true desires for what you're offering in your business and the truth about the most powerful message that will most easily sell them. How to start getting clarity on exactly what your ideal client needs to hear from you, even if you don't have any clients yet, in the kinds of offers and topics you're now pivoting to in your business. These processes will really support you with that too. And really what this does, getting the clarity on this, helps you to understand the most important pieces in a sales conversation. So you know what to say in any conversation, like anytime, anywhere, on social media, in person, on a sales call, if you still want to do that, or in your DMs when people reach out to you. It's really about knowing the fundamental pieces of how to talk about your work so that you can simply guide people into the right decision for them, whether it's a yes and it's a fit or whether it's a no and it's not. Like, that's not something that needs to be shifted, manipulated, persuaded. Like, either somebody's a good fit for you and they're ready to work with you, or they're not. So it's really about knowing which pieces of the conversation to have to just simply guide people towards that answer. And being able to do that in an authentic, natural, non-pressure filled way, because you know how to talk about what it is that you do, which you can see as something that I have mastered for myself and in my business. It really works well for me. Last month I made just under 18K, and I really worked the bare minimum, as I love to enjoy the summer and have been adventuring a lot. I take a lot of 4-day weekends. I never work over the weekends. And the same this month, I was able to take a last minute trip across North America to visit my friends because I just wanted to do that. I went to Montreal, I'm now in Vancouver, I'm going to LA, and next month I'm going to the UK and Italy. And because I have such minimal commitments on my calendar, it's very easy for me to switch time zones. I work for a few hours, a few days a week, and my content is consistent, it's powerful, it's strategic, it creates results on repeat. It's really fun to do. It feels really authentic. It feels like self-expression. That's really aligned with who I am, and I'm really aligned with the impact that it's making. And it's really fun for me. My business is probably the best thing in my life, despite all of the challenges that have gone on in the past couple of years. During the pandemic, being super lonely, having loads of meltdowns, my business is consistently something that brings me so much joy and really supports my life in so many ways. And that's what I want every woman to experience, because it's possible as long as you're strategic and you're focused. So Tell Stories That Sell is really for the woman who is ready to be hitting 5-figure months in easy, fun ways in her dream coaching business. You get lifetime access to 8 weeks of trainings where I share those repeatable processes to tap into the clarity on what you truly desire to be focused on in your offers and your messaging and your marketing, because this is what will work better for you than trying to force yourself to do anything that's really not truly something that you want to be doing. And really everything that you need to know to feel super clear on what to say and how to sell in really authentic ways based on you being you and you telling the truth about what it is that you do. So it's on sale. Where did I write this down? I wrote this down somewhere. I'm going to share the link for you. It's 1,111 versus 1,444, or there's a payment plan, which is 650 times 2 monthly payments. So I'm going to drop the link. It's on sale until Friday. And I'm happy to open up to any questions or any insights. Oh, wait, I did make some other notes, but I must have made them in another Google Doc because I wanted to add that. Wait, that's the wrong link. Sorry. I wanted to add that, even if, for example, you haven't created the big money results, you haven't had these, big shiny 10K 10K months. If any of this imposter syndrome is coming up around that just to remind you that it really is your whatever results you have created, whatever results you have embodied, you get to tell that story, and that is enough. Wherever you are is enough in order to be able to help people, in order to be able to earn the prices that you want to be earning, and doing it now and creating the results now. So for some reason, I can't find the link. Please message me. Please message me if you would like to get in on that. And I will send out the replay with this if you would like to review it and take notes while it's still available until the end of the week. Thank you, Britt. And feel free to drop any question. If you would like to ask a question, just pop it in the chat. I'll stick around for another couple of minutes. And thank you so much for being here. This has been so much fun. I'm so happy I got to share this with all of you. And I would love to hear your takeaways and your results as you start to implement this in creating live streams to attract more dream clients. Okay, here we go. I finally found the link for the program. So please do join if this is something that you're looking for more support with. And yeah, does anyone have any questions? Otherwise, I will pop off. Thank you. Bye.